Hello friends, welcome to the 59th session of Hybris tutorial. In this session guys, we are going to learn what is brute force functionality in Hybris and how we can do the customization in the brute force functionality. So guys, if you are working in a development project, you might need to do some customization in the brute force functionality. So this video is going to be very informative for you. And guys, I have already uploaded the notes of this video on the Google Drive. So you can just click on the link which is given in the comment section of this video and you can download the notes and the all relevant code files related to this video. So guys, before starting this, what is brute force functionality? I want to show you what is brute force functionality, what is brute force attack that I am going to show you. So for that, what I will do a registration. So I have just clicked on the sign in button and guys, I am able to open this storefront or I am able to do open this website because I have already done the B2C accelerator setup. In case you have not done the B2C accelerator setup in your local computer, you can watch our video, the chapter number 2, and you can also do the setup in your local system as well. I have already given the link of B2C accelerator setup in the description of this video as well as on the top right corner in the card section as well. You can watch the video and you can also do the B2C accelerator setup in your system. Okay, so now you can see now I'm on the registration page. So I will quickly do one registration. So I'm just selecting the first name as Hybris Tube, second name, last name as Brute Force. Okay, email address as bruteforcetest at gmail.com. Okay, and then I'm selecting the password. Okay, and you can see I'm doing the registration now. Okay, I'm just copying this email ID. Okay, so now you can see I have done the registration. So we can see this customer in our back office as well. So for that guys, I'm going to open the back office. So you can see the back office has been opened. So I am logging with my credentials. Username is admin and the password is Nimda. Okay, so I'm now going to log in with the back into the back office. Parallelly, I will log in into the HSC as well. So you can see I have loaded the HSC and this is the URL of HSC. Again, the username is admin and the password is Nimda. Okay, so I'm logging into the HSC as well. So guys, now you can see I have logged in into the back office. Now I will go to the customer. So you can see I'm going into the customer and then we will open the new customer which we have newly registered. So you can see I'm going to search the customer. So this was the email ID of the customer which we have just logged in. Okay, so this is the customer which we have just created. And if I open this customer guys and if I go to the password tab, if I go over here guys, here we have a one important field, disable login as a false. So its current value is false. That is why guys I am able to log in with this user. But if I just do the sign out guys, and if I try to log in with this user with the wrong credentials, so you can see I have just entered the wrong password and now I am trying to log in. I am trying to log in. Okay, you can see here we are seeing a generic message, your username or password was incorrect. Okay, if I refresh here, still the disable login value is false. But guys, if I try or if I do the false login 5 times, you will see that the disable login value become true. It means system will automatically disable the login of this user. So one time I have already entered the wrong password. Okay, now it is the second time. So you can see in the second time also the same message is coming, and I can see you can see I'm still not able to log in and still the disable login value is false. So I am doing the third time. So third time also again the same message is coming, and again you can see disable login value is false. Now it is fourth time. So fourth time will again the same scenario. You can see still we have disabled login value as false. Okay, now this is the fifth time, guys, and you can see as soon as I click on the login button, still the same message is coming, still the same message is coming. And if I see over here, guys, still the disable login value is false. But now, guys, if I do now the next time, sixth time, if I enter the wrong password, guys, you can see I'm just clicking on the login button. Okay, I'm just clicking on the login button. Still the same generic message is coming. But in the backend, guys, you will see that the disable login value has become true, right? So it means if you enter the wrong password in a particular time frame, wrong password more than 5 times, your system login will get disabled automatically. So this is the internal functionality of the Hybris, that it automatically disables the login of a particular user if the user enters the wrong password more than 5 times in a particular time frame. Okay, because system consider this behavior as a brute force means forcefully security attack. Okay, so system consider it as a security attack, and that's why system internally disables the login of that user. So this functionality is called as the brute force functionality. I hope you understand what is the brute force attack. Okay, and how the brute force attack internally works. So now the disable login value is true. If I try to enter, or if I try to enter the right credential again, you can see still I will not be able to log in. Now I have entered the right credential, and you will see that still I am getting the same generic message, but I am not able to log in even with the right credentials now. Okay, so this functionality is called as the brute force functionality, and such type of attacks are known as a brute force attack. Okay, so in brief, guys, we can write about the brute force. So brute force attack is a forceful security attack on the system, and to prevent the brute force attack, Hybris has developed a out of box functionality which is called as brute force functionality. So what actually is the brute force functionality? In brute force functionality in out of box behavior, because we can customize this as well, which we are going to show you in some time. In out of box behavior, if someone enters the wrong password against a existing user email ID, right, within against email ID, if someone enters the wrong password against existing user email ID more than 5 times, five times in a particular time frame, then system considers this attempt as brute force attack and disables the login of that user. Okay, so how it disables the login of that user, I have already showed you. So system basically in the back office, you can see this field value becomes the true value. Okay, so this behavior is called as the brute force behavior. Okay, now guys, don't worry about this. I will show you that how where this configuration is written that after the 5 times, just disable the login. How we can customize this behavior. I want that login disable should be after three wrong password attempts. How can I change this? I will show you as well. Okay, but here guys, but when the login of user is disabled, still on the storefront, we see a generic message. What is that generic message? So generic message is basically your username or password was incorrect, right? Your username or password was incorrect. Okay, so this is the generic message, even though after 6 times we are entering the right credentials. So from the front end, we cannot estimate or we cannot say that the login of this user is now blocked because of the brute force attempt. Okay, because we still see the generic message. Now guys, here comes the customization. Most of the clients want that after the brute force attack, if the login of the user is disabled, okay, if the login of the user is disabled, they want to show a custom message over here instead of generic message. Okay, so custom message like your account has been locked. So this is my requirement. So requirement is I need to, after the login of user is disabled because of brute force attack, we need to show a custom message on storefront instead of generic message. Okay, so what type of custom message? For example, we need to show your account has been logged, something like that. Okay, your account has been logged on storefront instead of generic message. So this is my requirement. So how we can implement this requirement, guys, I'm going to discuss with you now. But guys, just understand here, if because most of the client has this requirement and this requirement is implemented in most of the projects. So here basically we are compromising on the security perspective over the top of over the top of customer good experience. So here we are focusing on the good customer experience instead of customer security, because ideally customer or the attacker should not come to know that he was entering the wrong credentials. So here even if he is entering the wrong password 7 times, he will still see the same generic message, right? He will not get to know that his account has been logged from the backend. But just imagine guys, if after 6 time his account has been logged, so it means now the attacker will be sure that if we start seeing over here a custom message after 6 time, if we start showing a custom message that your account has been logged, so it means now the attacker is sure that whatever the email ID he is entering in the system, that email ID actually exists in the system. So there is a high chance that he might hack that email ID in the future, because now he has the confirmation, right, that this email ID actually exists in the system. Because after 6 time, if the custom message starts seeing over here, the attacker will come to know that this email ID actually exists in the system. That's why the custom message is displaying over here. But still the clients give a preference, they still want a custom message over here. So how we can show the custom message over here, that I am going to show you in this video. Okay, so there are many ways to implement that. We will pick one way or one implementation to achieve this functionality. Okay, so before showing you that functionality, guys, firstly we will see how the out of box functionality is written. Where this functionality is written, that when you enter the wrong credential 5 times, the login of the user should get blocked, or we should disable the login of that user. So where that functionality is written, I'm going to show you that part. So for that, guys, I have brought my server up in the debug mode. Okay, and I'm enabling my debug points here. Okay, you can see over here I have enabled my server, or I have brought my server up in the debug mode. Okay, now I will go into the Eclipse and I will open one file. Okay, so I will open one file. Okay, so this is the one file which is present in the Accelerator Storefront Commons. Okay, so this is the file, guys, where the complete logic is written. Okay, and how this file is getting called. So this file gets called as soon as you click on the login button, right? As soon as you click on the login button, internally what happens, there is one page, login page controller. There is one API written in this controller, do login. Okay, so before calling to this API through the filters, this abstract accelerator authentication provider API is called, and this is the authenticate method which is getting called. Okay, so this class is basically extending the core authentication provider. Okay, and we are overriding the authenticate method of core authentication provider over here. Again, this is again a out of box class which is written in the accelerator storefront commons. And guys, because of this method only, the complete brute force functionality is working. Okay, so here what we are doing, guys, here we are, whatever the user which we are trying to log in. Okay, so here we are checking, or we are getting whether there is any user exist with that user ID, which we are going to enter over here, or through this email ID, which we are going to enter over here, whether any user exists or not. So here we are checking that. So user model here we are finding. Okay, then we are checking whether this user model dot is login disabled, if its login is already disabled or not. If its login is disabled, then this is the brute force attack counter. Okay, so this is again a out of box class. Okay, so this is again a out of box class where the complete counters for the user is written. So you can see this is one API. Here we have multiple APIs. If there is an attack, so this is the API which will tell you whether this is a brute force attack or not. But this is the important class, default brute force attack counter. Okay, so here from this class you will get whether this attack or this attempt is a brute force attempt or not. But basically guys, here we are checking whether the login is disabled or not. You will not see these type of logs in your class, because these logs I have added for my testing, although it is not advisable, or it is not allowed to add the logs into the out of box classes, so you can just ignore these. But this is where this complete functionality of brute force is written here. If system identify this brute force, if this attempt is a brute force attack, then system what it is doing, it is disabling the login of that user. So this is the place where we are disabling the login of that user, and then we are saving that value. Okay, so I hope, guys, this is clear to you what it means. So I hope now you understand where this functionality, or where the brute force functionality is actually written. Okay, now guys, I will show you one more thing, that where it is written that after 5 unsuccessful events we have to disable the login of that user. Okay, so where that functionality is written, so I am going to show you. So here we have this API which we are calling default brute force attack counter.java. Okay, so here we are checking whether this API is basically telling us whether this, whether this attempt, whether we should consider this attempt as as a attack or not. So here we have one field value, maximum failed login. Okay, so this is the maximum failed login value. If I see what is its value, if I see how this value is initialized, I'm just going to search this value into XML, into springs.xml file. Okay, so I'm going to search something like this star.xml, and we will see that its value will be initialized in our XML file. So here you can see its current value we have given is 5. Okay, so this is the value which is given. Its value is given as 5. That's why after 5 unsuccessful events, if we try to attempt after 6 time, if we try to log in on 6 time, then basically we disable the login of that user. So if this value would be something else like 9, then after 9 unsuccessful login attempts, system would disable the login of that user. But because of this configuration, guys, we are basically disabling the login of the user after 5 unsuccessful login attempts. Okay, so guys, if you want to customize this property, what you can do, you can just override this bean. Okay, and in your custom extension, and then there you can give the override values of these parameters. But this is the basic way, or this is the place where this customization is written. So I hope guys this is clear to you, right, where we have written the logic that after 5 unsuccessful events we have to disable the login of the user. And guys, I hope now you understand, right, where this complete logic is written. So basically this is the file, right, this is the file, default brute force attack counter, where we are basically checking whether it is a current attempt is a brute force attack or not, right. So all these logics are written over here, and this is the place, or this is the important file, abstract accelerator authentication provider.java. In this authenticate method only we are checking, right, this method is basically getting called through the filters, right, where we are basically checking whether the current attempt is a brute force attempt or not. Okay, so what we are going to do, so guys, I'm just adding some debug points over here so that we can check whether my flow is coming into this class or not. Okay, so I have already enabled the debug points. Now what I will do in the backend, guys, just for the demo purpose, I am manually enabling its login again. I'm manually enabling its login again. Okay, and then I'm again entering the wrong password. Okay, so I'm clicking on the login, guys. I'm clicking on the login, and guys, you can see in the backend you will see that our flow will come into this class, into abstract accelerator authentication provider. Okay, so you will see that our flow will come into this. So for that, what I will do, I will just add my all extensions here like this. You might face this problem, so you will also do something similar, which I am doing over here. Okay, I'm just clicking on the OK button. As soon as I click on the OK button, you can see now this has been added into the source. And guys, you can see, right, you can see over here from our threads, daemon threads as well, you can see this is how, this is the hierarchy of this call. This is how internally this finally this accelerator is getting called. So right, so you can see this is the complete hierarchy which I am showing you over here. Okay, so finally you can see this filter is this authentication provider is getting called. Okay, and this is the authenticate method which is getting called. Okay, so here you can see we are getting the username details. Okay, we are getting the username details. If I see what is the username, so this is the username which I have added. Okay, and this is the method, guys, which is telling if the current attempt is a brute force attack or not. Okay, so since this will be my first time, because now I have recently enabled the login, so it should give me the false value. So it is giving me the false value. Okay, then I am checking whether this user exists or not. Okay, so whether this user exists or not, and guys, just remember we are saving, or this counter is basically saving this attempt into its cache. As soon as cache is wiped, like server gets restarted or something like that, then guys this counter will get reset again. Okay, but basically we are maintaining one cache, and we are adding these values of the customer attempt into that cache as well. Okay, so this all functionality is working on the cache. So if in the cache this user exists, that it has already tried to attempt the unsuccessful login attempts, it will keep on increasing the counter. But this is basically this attempt is basically saved into the Hybris cache. Okay, so it gives me the false value. Then it is from here system is checking whether actually any user exists with this email ID or not. If it exists, then it is basically fetching the complete user model of that user from the database. Okay, and then you can see it basically displays at the front end that your username or password was incorrect. So I will quickly do the second time, because this will time also it will give me the false value. So again it comes over here, again it will give me the false value. It will give me the false value. Okay, then again I will add something like this so that we will quickly come to know. So you can see it has given me the user model. Okay, because this user actually exists in my system. Okay, and then guys you can see I'm just forwarding it. So you can see again the message is same. Okay, now I will quickly do the third time. Again this will come, and I will just skip this. Again I will just skip this. Third time also it is showing the same thing. I'm just disabling the login attempts. So now the fourth time if we do, again it will show me the same message. Fifth time I will do, again it will show me the same message. Now guys I'm enabling my login again. I'm enabling my debug points again. Okay, and now we will enter the wrong password. We will enter the wrong password. As you can see, it's this login is still not disabled. Okay, now this is the last time, and I am now entering the wrong password, right? And then I'm clicking on the login button. So guys, as soon as I click on the login button, you can see it is giving me the username, same username. Okay, and then I am entering the entering into this line, and here you can see this is brute force attack. Now it is giving the value true, right? So as soon as it gives the value true, okay, as soon as it gives the value true, right, so basically this warning log should get printed. So this warning log should get printed. Okay, and here if we are checking whether the user model dot is login disabled, what is its value? I'm just doing control shift I. Okay, it is telling me its current value is false. So basically what we will do, it will not go into this flow, it will come over here, and then here we will be checking okay, if it is a brute force attempt, then we will be basically disabling the login, and then we are resetting the counter. Okay, here we are resetting the counter. That is why next time when I enable the login manually, it again started from 0. Okay, so here you can see still you can see the login is still disable login value is false. but as soon as it comes to the next line, it comes to this line, you can see now disable login value becomes true. So I hope guys this is clear to you how this functionality is working out of box, right? So I'm just skipping this, but still at the front end we are showing a generic message. Why we are showing a generic message guys over here? Reason is we have not written any custom message over here that your account has been logged, something like that. For that we need to do a separate customization. So how we can do that separate customization, that I am going to tell you now. So guys, there are multiple ways to achieve this. So one way is you can do this customization in your custom extension, in the custom storefront extension. So there is one class, accelerator authentication provider. This class is basically present into the training storefront extension. So this is the class accelerator authentication provider, right? So this is the path of this extension, this class. Okay, so here you can see this is the accelerator authentication provider. I'm going to open it. Okay, and guys, here you can see we have one overridden method, additional authentication checks, and this class is again extending the same class which we just saw. So this is the same class where we saw that the method is written. So accelerator authentication provider, if we open this abstract accelerator authentication provider, this is the same class. Okay, and here we have this additional authentication check. This method is already overridden. So this is the method which is present in the abstract accelerator authentication provider. This is already overridden here over here. What we will do over here guys, we will basically override this authenticate method. We will override this authenticate method, right? So I will just override, I will just copy this and then I will just override this. So after doing this, how this method will look like over here? So guys, this will look like something like this. Okay, so I'm just pressing Control Shift O so that I can do the right imports. So this is how this method will look like. So here we have not added the logger, so for that again I will add the I add the logger library. So it will look like something like this. Okay, it will look like something like this. Okay, and guys, don't worry about this. I have already given you this complete file in the notes of this video, so you just have to click on the link which is given in the comment section of this video and you can just download this complete file. Okay, but now you can see there is no compile time exception or error coming over here in this class, but this is the overridden method which I have written. Okay, so after doing this guys, I have to do one more changes. I have to do the changes in the my login page controller.java as well. So how those changes will look like? So guys, those changes in the login page controller, those changes in the login page controller, those will look like something like this. Okay, so these are the changes here. What I am saying, I am checking whether in the session I am getting any login exception. If yes, if I am getting any login exception, I am adding that exception or error into my model so that those can be read at front end. And how where we are says checking or where we are setting this login exception attribute into the session. So we are setting that into our accelerator in this class. So here you can see as soon as login is disabled, at that time I am setting this attribute into the session service. This is the exception, and here I am writing your credentials are locked. Okay, so this is how I have developed or built this functionality. Okay, so this is present in the training storefront extension. Okay, and then this is the changes. These are the changes which I have done over here in this login page controller. Okay, now I will show you this functionality, this working functionality as well, that after the 5 unsuccessful events, guys, right after 5 unsuccessful events, we will see over here a custom message. What custom message? The message which is written over here. This message you will start seeing over here as soon as either the account is disabled, or if it is a brute force attack at that time, we will start seeing this message. Okay, so I hope guys this is clear to you, and I have given you this I have given you this these login page controller.java over here on the drive only. So you just have to click on the link which is given in the comment section, and you can download these all files. And guys, this functionality is a direct plugin functionality. You can just plug in this functionality or these code files with your custom project code as well, and you can start using this functionality in your project as well. So this functionality is going to be very important for you. Okay, so now after doing these changes, what we will do, we will bring our server down. So you can see I am bringing my server down. Okay, and then I will firstly build my project. So I am going to build my project, and I'm firing the command and clean all. Okay, so I'm firing this command and clean all. So this command will take some time. So let's wait for this command to get finished. So guys, now you can see the build has been completed. Now I will bring my server up in the debug mode. So I'm bringing my server up into the debug mode. And guys, I have already created one video on how to bring your server up into the debug mode. In case you have not watched that video, you can watch our video. The link of video is given in the description box as well as on the top right corner in card section. So you can also bring your server up into the debug mode. It will be helpful for you for your better understanding. I will show you that after we bring our server up, and then if we enter the wrong password, our flow will come into this overridden method which is there in the training storefront extension. That's why I have brought my server up into the debug mode. Okay, so I hope guys it is clear to you. So let's wait for the server to come up, right, and then guys we will follow the next steps. So guys, now you can see the server has come up. Now what I will do, I will enable my debug points. So I'm just right clicking over here, and then I'm clicking on debug as debug configurations. Okay, and then I will just because the port I have already selected is the correct, so I will just click on the debug. So this will take some time. Okay, and meanwhile what I will do, I will just open the back office, and I will open the HSE as well, and I will open my storefront. Okay, so I have already opened my storefront. I will just refresh the URL, so you can see I have refreshed the URL. Okay, now guys, what I will do, I will just check the functionality. So this was the user which we had. Okay, so firstly we will see whether the custom message is now displaying over here or not. Then we will enable our debug points as well, and we will see the functionality. Okay, so guys, you can see I'm just clicking on the login, and my password is the wrong one password I am using. As soon as I click on the login button, you can see guys, now the custom message has started coming up over here. So I hope guys now you understand that the functionality is working. Okay, so I will show you this functionality by enabling the debug points as well. So you can see debug points have been now enabled. So I will put some debug points at some important points here. So you can see I have added the debug points at this place. Okay, I have added the debug points, and I will log in into the back office as well, so that firstly I will enable the login of that user again. Okay, and then we will see whether the flow is coming into this or not. Okay, so you can see I have added the debug points at all the important points. Okay, now guys, I will search for the customer. Okay, I will search for the customer which we had. So I'm going into the customer. Okay, I'm going over here, and then guys, we will search for this customer. I'm just copying this customer, and then we will search for this customer like this. Okay, and then I will just enable the login of this customer manually. So I'm going into the password tab, and I will enable the login of this customer like this. Okay, and you can see now the debug points are enabled. Okay, so guys, now what I will do, I will just enter the wrong password. Okay, and I will click on the login. Now my flow should come into this custom custom class instead of abstract accelerator authentication provider. I have added the login points over here as well. Okay, so this is my custom class. So let's see where the flow is coming. So I'm clicking on the login. Okay, and you will see that guys, now the flow is coming into this training storefront one. Okay, so you can see now the flow is coming over here. It is checking the same thing which we saw in abstract accelerator authentication provider. So it is checking, okay, whether what is the username. So this is the username, whether this attack is a brute force attack or not. Since it is a first attempt, so that's why its value is giving is false. Then it is basically fetching whether any user exists against this email ID or not. So if user exists, it returns the customer model. Okay, whether the user login is disabled or not, it's not disabled currently. So that is why, if it is a brute force attack or not, no, it is not a brute force. So that's why now it will basically it will basically returns us a general message: your username or password was incorrect. Okay, so I will quickly give the wrong password again, so that the same message will come. Then third time again I will give same message is coming. Now fourth time again the same message is coming. Now guys, I will enable the debug points again. I'm enabling the debug points again, and then I am clicking on the login button. So as soon as I click the login button again, it is again coming in my custom extension only. Okay, so now it is checking whether it is a brute force attack or not. So now it is giving us the true value. Since it is giving us the true value guys, so here you can see in the session I am checking whether guys, whether it is a brute force attack or not. If it is brute force, then in the session I am setting one parameter, key is login exception, and this is the value I'm setting this. And then in the login page controller as well guys, I will show you that my flow will come into this API, and here I am checking whether there is anything which is present into this login exception key or not. Okay, so now you can see my flow has come over here. Still the login disabled is false, so it will not go inside. Okay, now it will go inside because this value is true, right? So here guys, you will see that what we are doing, firstly we are setting this attribute into the session. Okay, we are setting this attribute into the session. You can see over here we are setting, then we are disabling the login. We are disabling the login, and we are saving its value. Since we have saved the value, now you can see the login has been disabled now. Okay, and then we are returning it. Okay, so I'm skipping it for now. And you can see now the custom message is coming up. Okay, so I hope guys this is clear to you. If I enter the wrong credentials again, right now, since Now since the login is disabled already, it will come inside this. Okay, so it will come inside this. So you can see now it is again coming into this class, and you can see guys, you can see it will give me the, if it is a brute force attack or not. It is giving us the false value. Why it is giving us the false value? Because last time when it was a brute force attack, at that time only we had reset the counter. Okay, that's why it is giving us the false value. Okay, but you can see guys, here I am fetching the user model. Okay, and then I am checking if its login is disabled. Okay, so here I am going inside this method. I'm going inside this method, and then you can see in the session I am printing this. So if you want to, print a separate message when the login has already been disabled, okay, so then you can write a separate message here. So you can write something like this: your credentials are locked already, right? So it will be helpful for you that whether it is already logged or it was logged first time. So first time you will get the message your credentials are logged, its credentials are logged already. So you can differentiate it. Okay, now you can see if I go forward, it is setting this into the login exception. Okay, now it has come into my login page controller. Okay, so this is how the hierarchy is going on. Now you can see login page controller do login method has been called. Okay, so I hope guys this is clear to you how it is working. Now you can see if I check this login exception, okay, if I check its value, you can see it is giving me this value. That is why I'm setting this attribute into the model class login error. Okay, and this model class or this attribute we are fetching or rendering at the front end in the JSP pages. Okay, and then after setting into the global message, okay, we are basically then removing the attribute again, okay, from the session. So you can see this is how it is working. So guys, I hope now this functionality is clear to you, how the brute force attack functionality works, and how the what is brute force functionality. There is another way as well guys, what you can do. If don't want to do the customization in this accelerator authentication provider class only, you can create your own custom bean as well. You can create your own custom bean as well. Like if you want to create your own custom bean, you can create your own custom bean as well, and then you can give its entry into the spring-security-config.xml. So there is one file, spring-security-config.xml file. So this is the file which is present. In this you can give your bean definition, overridden bean definition. Okay, so that bean will basically extend the abstract accelerator authentication provider. That bean will extend this abstract accelerator authentication provider. In that way also you can achieve this functionality. Okay, so I hope guys this is clear to you, and this video should be informative for you. And guys, if you like this video, do share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching. Bye.